I think we're streaming. All right. Welcome everyone to our program. I'm Holly Weiss and I am the founder of Stand Up Girls. We truly appreciate that you are here with us tonight, especially during this stressful and uncertain time. We have a great program tonight. This includes interviews with the lead actress and the director of a new film called All Joking Aside. And this is probably the first feature film about a Black woman breaking into stand-up comedy. We also have two panels featuring some of our students and some fabulous female comedians, which will be moderated by the incomparable Judy Gold. We hope that we will inspire you to support Stand Up Girls. We want to create confident communicators who will own the room, the operating room, the courtroom, the boardroom, every single room. So now, stop your video, make sure you hide non-video participants. It'll be a better show, and watch this.
Hi, my name is Raylene Harewood, and I'm an actor, and I am based in Vancouver, BC. And I play Charlene in All Joking Aside, which is the movie that we're going to talk about.
Right. And a lot of folks who are watching this now have seen the film this week, and so it's right on our minds. And Shannon?
Hi, I'm Shannon Coley. I'm the director of All Joking Aside.
Great to meet you. I don't see many women directors out there in the world, so that's fantastic. So I think maybe what I want to start with, when I watched the film, I was interested in some of the lessons that I learned from the film, even at my very advanced age. There were some plot points that had, dealing with basically sexual harassment, dealing with misogyny. I can't even tell you how many times I've been asked to smile. And also themes around mentoring and being persistent. Those are things that I picked up on. But I'm wondering, why don't we start with you, Raylene, on the lessons that you think this film is sending to the audience, and in particular, young women who are watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question, and I love hearing what you had to say about it, because I feel like every time I have this conversation, I hear something different, and I heard a few new answers from you today, so I think that's just awesome. But the thing that stands out for me the most is, the way that women show up in the world and how Charlie had the most success with her comedy when she brought all of herself to it. Like she didn't just tread on the light and on the surface. She brought all of her experience to the stage and really showed up as herself. And I just think that that is such a universal lesson, especially for women, on how to do well in this world, and that can be in stand-up or in any creative venture, or just in everyday life. And that was a really big takeaway for me.
I think that's such a great point, because certainly as an amateur comedian, I did much better being myself and telling stories and jokes about that I was personally involved with, that are truths in my life. But also as an attorney in a professional environment, if you have to spend a lot of energy trying to pretend to be somebody else, that's not good, right?
No, and it's also just not relatable. Like, I think there's this like false notion that like the more general you keep things, the more relatable you are. But I actually find that the more specific you get and the more grounded you are in like a really honest, specific human experience, the more relatable you are.
Absolutely. Really, I understand. Sorry. What do you want to add to this discussion?
For me, it was never giving up on your dreams. As soon as I read the script, I really identified with Charlene as someone who was trying to break into a very male-dominated area and getting told that she'd never make it for so many different reasons. And I remember getting out of film school and I wanted to become a cinematographer and a camera operator and a director. And I was told so many times that women couldn't do that for so many BS reasons, whether it was like the camera's too heavy or they couldn't see color the same way that men could, or, oh, well, I'd have to be dating the producer in order to get a job, things like that.
What I was hearing was about the universality of the obstacles that women face in the world. Now in the United States, we are about to elect a new president and vice president, and we have our first Black woman and Indian woman vice presidential candidate, and it's a very exciting time, a time when young people hopefully are really hearing strongly that women and Black women, women of color, can achieve their dreams. So let me ask you about, again, it was some of the strategies that I saw the actress, or like the main character, were things like, sort of channeling the bad stuff into her work. I remember that smile piece about, somebody asked her to smile more, and then it's a joke that night on stage. So can you tell me, I'll start with you, Shannon, about some of the strategies that you've employed to deal with sexism in your field?
In the beginning, I thought that I had to be really, really tough, and I had to minimize my femininity. And then eventually I just decided I didn't care. I didn't care if men were threatened by the fact that I was a woman. I stopped hiding who I was in order to fit in.
Raylene, you want to pipe in? You're stuck again.
Uh-oh. I feel like I'm still quite, I'm at the beginning of my career, and I'm still navigating dealing with the sexism. I don't feel like I come up against it too often. That's a really good question. How to navigate that? I don't know. I think I just try and keep it as professional as possible. Oh, we lost her. Keep it as professional as possible, but definitely if anything is like really overt, like I will politely say something, but like let people know that I'm not standing for that.
Again, what I was hearing, Raylene, I guess gather she's a little bit younger, and her strategy seems to be to politely speak up, which I think sounds like you're using the strategy of being yourself and speaking your mind. But I agree with you, Shannon. There certainly was a time, and there probably still is in certain fields, where women feel like the only way they can succeed is if they kind of go with the punches and roll with the punches and behave like other successful people in in the field, which would mean, you know, for me, wearing a tie and suspenders and having a bald head and a paunch. You know, it's a different kind of view, a vision, mentor of success, which is kind of leads me to my next question. When I started out as an attorney, I didn't have a male mentor. I did collect female action figures and had them on my desk as sort of inspiration, and they're still there. I haven't seen them since March, but they're there. You know, so I'm wondering, you know, about mentorship. You know, have you had people in your life that have helped you, and what do you look for in a mentor? And I'm going to start with you, Raylene.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I've had anyone in particular mentor me for a longer period of time. But I've definitely had, you know, even just in my professional relationships, like with my first agent was a really big mentor. Like I had never been on set before. I didn't know any of the lingo, and she really helped me. And I think about you know, the coach I had that helped me book my first professional show on stage. And she was a good mentor. Yeah, but I haven't actually had anyone for any prolonged period of time. But if I were to look for someone, I think it would be someone who perhaps has a similar background to me. You know, this industry is so, like, there's so many different pathways to get to so many different places. Like no one's career looks the same. So I think I would try to find someone who maybe they did have a theater background as I do, and maybe did have similar ambitions in theater or in film and television that I do, and who can kind of share some of their experiences on that journey.
And how about you, Shannon?
I've been fortunate. I've had mentors, probably more men than women, just because of the directors I've worked with in the past. I've worked with more male directors when I was a camera operator and a director of photography, and I've learned so much from them over the way. As far as like female directors, it's a very tight-knit group, and we do help each other out a lot, and you know, have a sort of network where we can share information. So that's been really, really helpful.
So I think it's great to hear a little bit of difference here, whereas Raylene has had mentors who are women. It sounded like all women. Shannon, you've had men and women. I have never had a woman mentor. The opportunities were few and far between for that kind of a relationship. But over the years now, my closest friends are other women who are in my field, and you know, we're kind of just supporting each other rather than having some kind of teaching relationship. But I did appreciate in the film, I mean, the male comic, I can't recall his name, was not your ideal, you know, person to hang around with.
No.
So the lesson I thought I took from that is, you know, you're not always going to find support and mentorship in someone who looks like you. You may get very valuable help from someone who looks exactly the opposite of you.
Totally. And yeah, what a gift that is, because it's the opposite perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Well, also, I think what's very important wasn't just the fact that Charlene needed a mentor and went after Bob. It was the fact that Charlene, in a way, saved Bob's life. That having a mentor is great, but being a mentor is just as important. And so in his case, it was, you know, redemption.
And that is actually kind of the perfect, you know, ending part for this, because we're at near our time, but also it's exactly how I felt in the movie. When I'm watching the film, I'm thinking, well, I hope this ends well. I hope it's not one of these sad things where, you know, she's just drummed out of the business and it's like, oh, that's everybody's life. And it was. At the very, very end, that moment when she's sort of coaching him to get back up on stage, or she is coaching him to get back up on stage. And, you know, he's a grumpy man and he's been off stage for a long time. So he got as much out of her as she did out of him. And
totally.
that's a that's a great mentoring relationship. And they couldn't be more different. So a really great lesson from the film. And I am just really happy to have watched a film where I think it's probably the only film I've Googled around that is about a young Black woman breaking into comedy with a female director. I mean, that too is the cherry on top. So I wish you both the best of luck with this film, with its widespread opening. And I think I'm supposed to say break a leg with it. Nah, I don't know quite how that works, but really, really great. Luck to you with the film. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, Stand Up Girls. I love this organization. I know for me, with stand-up comedy, I started out just watching YouTube clips.
I got involved with stand-up comedy in my late 20s.
I started doing stand-up comedy in April of 2019.
First time I did stand-up, I got involved in stand-up, I was 26 years old. And it was funny because it was almost like a coming out for me.
I had been told my whole life that I'm funny and didn't know what to do with that information. So eventually I started Googling jobs for funny people, and stand-up comedy popped up as one of the options.
I wasn't brave enough to do stand-up until I was so unhappy in my job as a lawyer, and I was basically numb. And then a friend signed me up to do Funniest Lawyer in New York, and it was like everything, every desire playing out for me. And I just did everything I could to get into this career.
If you can conquer stand-up comedy, I feel like everything after that is going to be a piece of cake.
That's the goal of Stand Up Girls, teaching young women from underserved communities the communication skills that can help them succeed in life and at work.
I'm very shy. I won't speak in front of big crowds.
Kaylin joined the group to grow, and after 8 weeks of classes, she did.
It's just this supercharged confidence that I just did something that I never thought I could do when I did it. Wow, that was great. If you weren't able to watch, all joking aside this week, it will be streaming on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Microsoft Movies starting November 13th. And I'm really sorry that I spoiled the ending if you haven't seen it. Some folks have been asking how to donate specifically. You can just go to our website, which is standupgirlsnyc.org. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, there's a donate button. So now, Judy Gold. Judy Gold is a comedian, actress, writer, and producer. She won 2 Emmys for her writing on The Rosie O'Donnell Show. She's had a bunch of stand-up specials on HBO, Comedy Central, Logo, all the good ones, and she's even performed off-Broadway. She's been busy lately promoting her new book. The cover is behind me. It's called Yes, I Can Say That, and it's subtitled When They Come for the Comedians, We Are All in Trouble. I really do recommend this book. It's about comedy, free speech, and cancel culture. It is smart and funny, just like Judy Gold. Chris Rock has called her one of the best Black women comedians in the world. So here she is, Judy Gold. Hey,
that is hilarious. I know when he sent me that, I was cracking up. He is the best. He is the best. But nice to be here. I love what you guys do. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to disappear because you're going to talk to our first panel, which is going to come right on. So here we go. Gotcha.
Is everyone on?
Yes, we are. I'm just looking for one more lady.
I'm here. But I can't start it.
Robin, we're gonna have you on. You're on the comedian panel, sis.
Yeah, this is not the, yes.
Girl, we got you. Just hold on tight. This is for the students.
I got so excited to see you and Judy. Okay.
I think we're all on. If we're not, I'll just start going and I'm gonna search through, okay? Oh, there it is. One last one. Trying to get Kaylin to start her video.
She had her video started.
She did?
Yeah, she just went off 2 seconds ago.
Okay. Kaylin, we need you to start your video. There you are.
Okay. Sorry. Hi.
Hi. Okay, tell me when you guys are ready.
Oh, we're just missing one. Did she leave? Where is that? We have Veronica, Kamaya, Kaylin, and Samaya. I'm just looking for Samaya. I don't see Samaya, so let's start. And if I see Samaya, I'll pop her in, okay?
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay. Okay, Veronica, you have to unmute.
Hi, hello.
How are you? I'm so excited. I have some questions for you, but I just want to say that it is an honor to talk to young women who take this leap, because, you know, I feel like sometimes I know as a little girl, I was never little, but you know, that I didn't have a voice, feeling like you don't have a voice, and doing stand-up is more than a voice. It's a powerful voice. So I wanted to ask each of you, how did you feel after you got off stage for that first time in front of a live audience? Kaylin, you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. So when I first started stand up, I was like nervous, as like usual, I was terrified. I had stage fright. But once I did the set, I felt good after.
Right.
Because it was like so relieving, and like especially my family was there, so it was like kind of nerve wracking. But then like after the show, everyone like said how good I was and stuff like that. Like literally, my siblings came up to me and were like, "You're funny," because like they were all of a sudden they started laughing at my jokes. Yeah. So yeah, it was really good.
Veronica.
Hello. I just wanted to say thank you so much for inviting me on here. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. The first time I got off the stage from performing one of my sets, it was a really exhilarating feeling. I had done performance before, but never something where people would react so obviously and so positively every few seconds.
It's like a high. You get a rush from the laughter. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. Kamaya, you're muted. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
A lot of my teachers came. So
awesome.
I felt like my jokes, because my jokes, a lot of them are for older people because I'm surrounded by older people. I'm the youngest in my family. So a lot of my jokes that I normally tell are for my family who are older. So it was funny to have these people who got my jokes. They're part of the age group that
right.
And it was just nice. I feel like my teachers got to see a different side of me. So did my family. And I had a really good time. It was the first time where I felt like I was being funny and I wasn't going to get in trouble for it.
Right. Yeah. It's a powerful feeling, isn't it? So, all right. So you all felt great because you do get this. I mean, it's amazing. You are in this powerful position where everyone's paying attention to you and you're in control of their response, of their feelings, sort of. Now I want to know, how did it change you? you worked up the nerve to do this, you did it, it felt great. How did you then use it in your life? Have you called it back at certain times when you're in school, or, I got bullied. I don't know if you guys are hopefully are not bullied, but the power that you got and the feeling you got, how has that translated into your everyday life? Anyone?
I'll start.
Okay.
So one big takeaway I've had from Stand Up Girls is something that I've been able to take with me, not just in performance, but in real life too. I have a tendency to be really stoic and formal in my normal manner of speech. And previously, before Stand Up Girls, when I tried to crack jokes, nobody would get them. Nobody would even know that I was joking.
Right.
But being able to vary up your speech, and something Holly helped me with a lot, is knowing when and how to do that.
Right. It's amazing. Kamaya, Kaylin?
I don't recall like the experience every single day.
Right, but anything that how did it change you? Did it give you more confidence? Did you feel like, if I could do this, I could do that?
There's moments when I think you miss all the shots that you don't take. Like if I hadn't done Stand Up Girls, like I don't think I would have had a good experience that year. Like I really needed a win as an underclassman.
Right.
So if I think of times where I'm like, I really don't want to join that sport because I don't think I'm going to be good at it. I'm going to apply to college next year and I'm thinking I'm still not going to get into that school. I didn't think that I would do good like 2 years in a row, and I did really good in Stand Up Girls. So I think about that when I'm doubting myself.
Kaylin, that's so great. It's so empowering that, you doubt yourself and then you can recall, wait a minute, I could do anything, Kaylin?
So an important thing that like really stuck with me is that I was like really shy when I started Stand Up Girls. I was nervous, as I said before. I was afraid that no one was gonna understand my jokes and stuff like that. But then like as I started like getting used to the environment, I kind of broke my shell a little bit more. Like I started speaking up more.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah. Stuff like that.
It's fascinating, isn't it? What I kind of want to ask, each of you, there's so many different types of stand-up. There's sarcasm, there's, just plain joke, there's conversational stand-up, there's slapstick, what's your style? What is everyone's style? Holly, what about you?
My style is observational. I tell a lot of stories about my kids and just my life as a woman. So observational.
Right. Guys?
I would say observational as well. Like during my first set, I talked about like the people around me. Like I spoke about a family barbecue, which is always chaotic. So yeah.
And what's interesting, is that everyone has a family. It might not look like everyone else's, but it's so I started my career talking about my mother, and even though everyone didn't have an overbearing Jewish mother, they had a mother figure or someone like that, and they could relate to it. How about you, Kamaya?
It's more so storytelling.
Yeah, love that.
I'm telling people what happens in my life normally.
Yeah.
Laugh. So I was just like, I'm just gonna tell them the story like I do it with my friends. And
right.
Because you get more comfortable on stage, and then it's like I'm not in front of everyone. It's not awkward. I'm having a conversation with everyone that came.
Right. Yeah. Veronica?
I'm going to agree with Kamaya, Holly, and Kaylin. I tend to do a mix of observational and yeah.
Who makes you guys laugh? Oh my God, it's not that hard. I mean, I'm right here, guys. Come on.
When we were in class, everybody was like, this person, that person. They had all the names.
No, it's really myself. Like I'm not even.
I love that.
Like before I tell I have to think like, would I laugh at this?
Right.
A lot of the times I can't even get through the joke because it's so funny.
Right.
Myself.
Veronica or Kaylin?
John Mulaney and Lucille Ball. She was actually one of the first comedians I ever watched, along with Frasier. That's my favorite TV show.
Oh, cool. Kaylin?
For me, growing up, I never really like had a favorite comedian, so it's like kind of like a mixture.
Right.
But then like as I got older, I started seeing like people like basically who like look like me, like Tiffany Haddish or something like that. And,
Yeah,
like,
hilarious.
more comedians. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I want to know, and people have asked me this question, but I am really curious. For each of you, what was your first joke?
My first joke?
Well,
Yeah.
let me start it off so you guys can have time to think. My very first joke was about my dog having a light colored coat, like being like a yellow lab, and then comparing her to being light skinned.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
That was my first joke.
Okay.
My first joke that I wrote down with Stand Up Girls is about how I thought a possum was a cat when I was coming home. And I walked toward it and I was like, that is not a cat.
Not even close. I hate them. I hate their feet. I hate the way. I hate them. I don't know what it is. I can't think. All right. Yeah. Sorry if we have animal lovers. Okay.
They just look evil.
Don't they? Yeah.
They do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kamaya?
I think my first joke with Stand Up Girls was about me working at American Express, and because my school does corporate work study jobs. So my first really joke was like, why did everyone lie? Why did no one tell me what actually working was like?
That's
Everyone's
great.
like, oh, when you grow up, everything's gonna get better. No, it's
Right. I know it gets worse. Come on. Believe me. That's hilarious. Kaylin?
So basically my first joke with Stand Up Girls is that like whenever I would have to go to like a family barbecue, I'm always babysitting somebody, and all of a sudden they're my cousins. Like I've never seen them in my life. So yeah.
I love that. You guys are great. You know, we are trying to raise money. So whoever's watching, just finally, I know you have amazing futures ahead of you. Anyone planning on going into stand up?
I would like.
Huh?
I would like to at some point. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, Veronica, you got some good jokes.
Kamaya?
It would really. I have no idea what I want to do with my life.
Right. Well, you're not supposed to. So
I think it would be nice to keep doing something like Stand Up Girls or have something to do with stand up comedy.
it's so great. Yeah. And Kaylin?
Yeah, I think I would have been interested in it.
Oh, that's awesome. So I love you guys. You made my week, night, year. Good luck to everyone.
Yes, good luck. And just as being your teachers, it's been such a joy. Thank you.
Holly, you rock. And good luck. Good luck.
Thank you
Break a
so much
leg.
for having us.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I love you girls.
Thank you so much.
Because it gives us a voice. And stand-up comedy to me is like the most immediate and honest form of art.
It's such an incredible way to relate to people and connect with people. And, you know, when you get your first laugh, it's like, whoa, they get me.
Stand-up comedy has made me realize I have way more of a voice than I thought I did.
There's been a lot of ups, but there's been a lot of downs. And at least I feel alive.
Stand-up comedy has taught me a lot, but more than anything else, it has given me the confidence to speak with authority in a room. And as a woman, I can't tell you how important that is. That's a very important skill.
stand-up comedy is giving me a new path in life, and I'm grateful for it.
You gotta laugh, you know, you gotta find a way to keep positive. And so I just think stand-up is just the greatest. And I'm so impressed by the girls and this organization. And thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of it.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
I guess, do I take over at this point?
Yes, you do. This is
Okay.
Canadian
Hi, sisters! I love you all! Oh my God, I can't believe we're all together. I can't believe it. It's so exciting. Oh my God. So here we are. I mean, I don't know if that touched you as much as it touched me.
I almost cried. Literally, I was trying not to shed tears. It was very sweet.
It's incredible. I have a lot of questions for you, and I just want to open this with I think I've been doing it the longest. I did my first set in 1981. I was 19 years old.
Wow.
On a dare. And hey,
Joanna Barley, hey.
And you may want to turn your mic down a bit. Oh, shut up. Okay.
I agree.
Oh, I didn't see.
You know what, Marina?
Marina's there.
I was like, cuties, where's the volume on here?
I don't know why. I just have this thing. All right, I'm going to talk like this. So anyway, and I have to say, when I started, and then I started in the 80s, which was a comedy boom. And these are two things I'd love to talk about with you guys. I used to call, when I started, getting decent, I would call clubs and say, hey, I just did like Caroline's Comedy Hour or Evening at the Improv. I really like to work your club. And I can't tell you how many times they said to me, oh, well, we had a woman working here 3 months ago and she didn't do well, so we're not hiring any women. That's point one. And then point two is the fact that I don't think people realize that we never get to work together unless I never worked with another woman on the road. So have you guys experienced that sort of, that we're all exactly the same?
I have. When I started out, it was really unusual for more than one woman on a lineup.
Right.
It'd be like 8 guys and basically no women. If there was a week where there was a woman on the 8 to 10 guys lineup, it would just be one.
One, yeah.
Just be one. And it couldn't be 2. And they would tell you why you couldn't be on, because I already got Mary on. So
right, because we
I'm
all
not
talk
Mary.
about
I don't
the
do the
exact
same thing as Mary, but they were like, no, we already have her.
Yeah. So
that's it. So you gotta wait until maybe, it was absurd, you know what I mean? And so in LA, when I started, I started before LA, but when I was in LA, in the beginning of the 90s, we really got together a concerted effort to do all female lineups. And we did it. It was Cheryl Underwood, Sherry Shepard, myself, AJ, Kim Whitley. I mean, I could go on, and we would book ourselves and produce our own female shows, and we got audiences. People came, and people loved it. And it was the bookers, not the audience. So subsequently, we would put together our own tours because we didn't trust touring with them anymore. So all girls, we go to Sacramento and San Diego, but we trusted each other and we could take care of each other. But yeah, we rocked. But it wasn't through them. We had to make our own way.
How about you, the rest of you? Dealing with this,
I get a lot of box ticking offers. I find, because I'm queer, Black, and a woman. So now people are, I get that spot where, oh, we need someone gay, Black, and Frankie will fit all of those boxes.
Right.
Perfect.
You get the most work of all of us.
Yeah.
What did you say, Karen?
I said you get the most work of all of us.
I mean, and I like to think it's because I'm very funny, but it also is. You know, and I've been told before, I have too many Black people on the show. I can't put you on.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we have too
Wow.
many women. I can't put you on. But what I've recently have been declining opportunities where I'm the only woman and asking the producer when they've approached me, are there going to be any other women on this show? No. Okay. Well, if you want, I have some suggestions. I can give you some recs. If you want to add a few more, I'm happy to do the show. If not, I'm not going to be able to do that.
You know, that's such an interesting point, because I think when I started, and there was just a handful. I mean, there's more women now, but it was as if only one of you was going to get a shot, you know, and it sort of created this, even though we all loved each other, it was like, oh, it's only going to be one of us, and this unnecessary competitiveness.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the
yeah.
best part of that competitiveness is to get to compete with other women. Like the first time that I noticed because I started at the comic strip, right? And then I remember Lucian telling me, it's like you're killing two birds with one stone. We got you Black, and then we got the woman, and now we're done. And I was like, you're not done.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But then, you know, years later, more female comics on the scene. And I remember in all honesty, the feeling that I had was like, oh no, I don't know if she's going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And that was a great moment for me, because that then elevates me to the next level of a comic. Guys always had that.
Right.
How about the panic when there happen to be two women on the show and they're scared that they go in order, like one after the other?
Yes. Right.
Right. Like literally is like in panic mode. No, we have to put someone in between because there's too much estrogen.
Yeah. You know, I'd love, and Joanna, feel free to comment on this. I will not, and Holly, I will not do a show that is named Hysterical, or, you know, I won't do it anymore. You know, this idea that, you know, 3 women on a show is a special event, and 3 guys on a show is a show. Like,
right.
Well, I did do Hilarious, but that was Oprah, so I had.
Yeah, I did that one too. Yeah, it was Wanda and Oprah, so I was fine.
Yeah,
fine
you got
with
it.
that. Yeah.
Well, for me, I have produced, am producing, and created the Black Women in Comedy Festival because of
my happy place. Yes,
thank you. Because of the lack of Black women on stage. Or the opportunities that we could have be seen by industry. And so when I created it, and it was some other behind the scenes stuff because it was an all white woman festival.
Right.
It was miscommunication, but because of the miscommunication, the festival was created, which was amazing. That's how I got to meet Frankie French. A lot of Black women, when they came to the festival, did not know
each other. Yeah.
We didn't know each other. We didn't know we existed. And we didn't know we had the support system. There was a level of competition, but we found our tribe.
Healthy.
Yeah, exactly. We found our tribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all we need, is to be seen, heard, and felt. And that's what the festival created. And it was one of the most amazing things, because I remember when I saw Marina Franklin for the first time, because I was a comedy head, and I would go to every comedy club as a young lady in the 80s and early 90s. And when I saw a woman on stage, it was like, oh my God, there's women.
Right.
I never thought to do comedy, but I just wanted to be in it. I love to laugh. Yeah. So when I got the opportunity to perform, it still was hard to see a woman, first of all, let alone a Black woman in the late 80s or early 90s. So when I did, it was like, oh my God, there's a Black woman.
Right.
You know, Marsha Warfield was coming up.
Yeah, she was great.
Wanda Sykes. So just to know that it was such a force to see so many men and not too many women. Leanne Lord as well. Leanne Lord I saw as well coming up in that time. But to create something that Black women needed, and then to get the allies from others that understood that it was needed, it was necessary. It's not to separate, but to elevate Black women. So I was very appreciative of all the support.
I don't know if you guys I don't know if any of you were around for this, but there was a club on Grand Street in Soho called Comedy U Grand. Do you remember this, Joanne? All right.
No.
And I remember Thursday nights was all women comedians. And I remember we got $5.
Oh,
and that's where I met. That was the only night of the week we could work together. Wow. That's where I met all my pals, you know, all in my class, because we all call it a class. A lot of people don't know whatever class you're in from when you came up. And it's amazing that I remember Ray Romano, you know, Jon Stewart, and all these guys, and they would get a bite, they would get something, and they would bring all their pals along with them.
Yep.
I feel like, do we have that power? Are we almost there? Or you know what I'm saying? It's not where it should be.
Well, I chased after Robin. Robin, do you remember that?
Yes.
After a set I did like an open mic at the Gershwin Hotel.
Wow.
I chased after you, Robin. And I was like, I am such a big because I was just like so excited to see you know, specifically a Black female comic that I had seen on TV that I was looking up to. And I was like, Robin was like, girl, I'm going home. Let's talk for a second though. Let's talk. How you doing? Oh, you like me? Oh,
I know, because I was always like that. I was like, you know, people would come around me like all excited, come toward me, and I'd look like, who's here? You know, they'd be like, it's you, and I'm like, really? Okay, you know. But I do remember the excitement that we were talking about, as because I started a long time. I even think before you, Judy, and I do remember walking to the stage, and you could feel, again, what motivated me was the audience, not all the obstacles behind the scene. Because when I would walk up after, you know, 6 dudes and of any, and all races, gender, whatever, I would walk up and you would hear the audience, it's a girl, it's a you know, it's a female.
Oh, yeah.
And like, as I was walking, but so by the time I got to the stage, I felt I'm wanted. I had 2 notes and an impression, but I was wanted.
Yeah, I remember when I would go out and do sets, and the MC, always a guy, you know, until I volunteered to MC, you know, I wanted to MC because I wanted to be on stage all night long. But I would get introduced. They would say, our next act is a woman.
Yeah, lady
and then they'd lift the mic stand up really high because I was tall. And I just, you know, I learned very early to give it right back to them. And I would just say, that was our MC. He is a man. He has a penis and a scrotal sack. Let's hear it for the man, you know. And that's how I sort of learned how to just say, no, cut the crap. What have you guys?
Your power.
Yeah. What have you guys done to reclaim your power?
I want to say someone just did that to me last year, and I was so shocked. I was like, "This is 2019."
Yeah.
I was doing someone's private birthday party. They were like, "Can you do my aunt's birthday?" I was like, "Sure." And the MC was like, "Well, we have a woman." And
wow.
They literally, he really was. He was like, "They say she's funny." I was like,
"Oh wow!"
Oh, I wish I was there.
I was like, "Is this really happening?" Like, it was happening. And I was like, "All right, thank you for the MC who just saw what a woman looks like. He just met a woman today.
New,
a new thing for him.
Yeah."
Help him with his ABCs later on in the afternoon. You know, I was like, I couldn't believe, but yeah, I still.
Karen?
What was worse for me? I'm sorry. I remember, and going with that with the MCs, not just though that she's a woman, which was terrible, but in addition, you'd have this thing. This is what I fought. Like, I fought for this. Don't introduce me as coming up with the female perspective. I don't have the female. What the freak? And then the second thing, which is may be cultural, I'm Black, whatever, is, you know, she gonna get on the dude. She gonna tell them. I'm like, I don't even talk about dudes. I'm talking about Kim Kardashian. Leave me alone with that.
Karen?
That was horrible.
I remember constantly, and it actually happened fairly recently, that happened like in one of these in the park shows or something, but the guy doing the rape joke.
Oh yeah.
And then saying, you know, like speaking of, you know,
oh my God,
like something very misogynist, and then saying, and now we have and they when they go a lady coming to the stage, a lady stage, the lady thing.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't like the lady thing.
I used to, when I hosted at the Cellar for years, I think it was like 12 years or something, forever. It felt like 20 years, but you know.
Yeah.
But I would always deal, because I was really the only woman on the show. I was the host, so it was like they had a different woman coming up each time, right? But the thing is there was one comic, I love the joke, but still, he would do this, and he would say, oh no, this is actually when I was performing. He was hosting. He would say, women fuck up fun all the time. Sorry, I'm sorry for cursing, but that's what he was saying. Women mess up fun all the time. Men laugh, women mess up fun. Now, welcome to the stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
and then I would go on, and I could actually, now, I don't know if he intended on doing that. But I know,
yes, he did.
I know that when I was actually on the stage, I felt like I had to reclaim the audience.
Yeah, of course.
And my power in like 5, like a minute, like less than a minute.
Yeah.
You know, I
mess up fun.
Yeah, I write in my book about women. I don't know if you have this experience, but when you go back, you know, like Jean Carroll was really the first female, like just, they used to call her a guy comic because she was, I don't know if you know her, but look her up. And if you look at women in the 50s and 60s, when they would say something to disarm the audience right when they got up there, like, hi, I know my place.
Right.
You know, and it was like this, we had to like say something to get the elephant out of the room, so then we could do our act. Do you still feel
like we
that?
had to make an excuse for ourselves.
Right. Do you guys still feel that?
I don't really.
Yeah, I don't feel it either.
There are moments, actually. Yeah.
I think sometimes being not 25, like I kind of feel like, you know, a booker at a big club said to me, like, why would I book somebody over 40?
Oh my God.
By the way,
now you're funny.
By the way, he was not referring to men over, you know what I mean? He just said,
wow.
Well, Joan Rivers was never more relevant than when she died at 82. So, you know.
Well, they get older, like they just have more of a perspective and more of an I don't care. And I think there's a little bit sometimes when the audience is very youthful.
Right.
I feel like I will amp it up. I will amp the age. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of be like, look, I know I'm not 20.
Well, you play to your demographic. When you see the audience, our job is to read the room, adjust our sets, because we're professionals. So we're able to do what we do as a comedian, and it's the bookers that need to change.
Right. Exactly.
They need the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers are the ones that are preventing women from doing the job.
Right.
So once we, you know, so that's what was the impetus for me to create my own projects, because
you have to.
I wasn't getting the opportunity.
Invent. We have to invent, and no one hands us anything.
Nope.
Frankie, as a queer person, I came out on stage in '96, and everyone said it's gonna end your career, which I was like, I can't have kids and go and act like I'm not gay on stage and not talk about, you're like, do you feel, I mean, I know that it definitely, I became, you know, they pigeonhole you. That's what they like to do. Do you feel that it had any, I mean, I feel like it had a positive effect for you because you're so brutally honest.
It did. For me, it was definitely a positive. But the funny thing about it was I didn't even think about it as being a thing. I've never come out before. I didn't know that I had to. I didn't know that who I slept with or was in love with was in business. So just my whole entire life, I dated whoever I felt like dating, right?
Right.
But when I decided, oh, you know what, I should probably talk about my sexuality. That's another layer that I can add to my, that's right. And then I was like, I need to come out to my daughter because she doesn't know that about me. You know what I mean?
I remember us talking in DC about that.
Yeah. So I sat her down and she was nonplussed. She was like, Mommy, I'm 100% gay. Okay. You're half. Get the fuck out. She was uninterested.
Oh God. You have no idea. Like, you know, there were comics that were out way before me, but it was like the AIDS crisis, and it was
right.
It was a career. It was, I mean, it was hard, but I couldn't lie. I can't lie. That's the thing. You know, only the truth is funny.
Agreed.
I want to know two things before we wrap it up. Number one, this is so on what Marina said, because when I auditioned at the comic strip, I think I was probably 19 or 20, and I went, and this is you know, and this is what women, any girls who are listening, you will hear stuff that is, you think is the truth and it's not. So I get Lucian that, you know, we had to audition live. There was no taping. And then you would wait and go into his little office, which was like a closet. And he literally says to me, well, you're female, you're tall, you're Jewish. I don't know what kind of market there is for Jewish female comedians. And at that time I was like, what else is there at this point? You know, it was, and that so stuck with me. Like, what do you mean there's no market for Jewish like, what, can you guys go around and tell me the most ridiculous thing that a booker or an agent has said to you? That is so not true.
The most ridiculous thing for me was probably year 1 or 2. Someone told me, well, Frankie, you know, you're mainstream, so you're just never going to be able to perform in front of Black audiences.
Amen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. To my face, like in black face. And well, I turned around and I went out 2 years straight, literally every single night, 7 nights a week, and I only would work black mics. Because I would bomb all the time. And now you put me in front of anybody and it doesn't really matter. But, you know, it was so, I was taken aback. Like, you're telling me that I can't entertain the people at my family? That's me. I am a black woman. How are you going to tell me I can't perform? I'm too white? Like, literally is what I've been told. You're too white.
Well, yes, I can piggyback.
You talk too white, which one is offensive because Black people aren't educated, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Joanna, you know me. You've seen me perform.
Right. Well,
Black audiences.
Yes, everybody loves you, Frankie. I was at Frankie. Yes, I was at Judy Carter's. I went to Judy Carter's conference in Palm Springs. The first year I went, I was the only Black woman, which I didn't know. I'm a comedian. I just went there for comedy.
Right.
So I went to one of the workshops and I did my set that I wrote and created. And the guy, a white agent, said, I'm not Black enough. I was like, whoa! So Rick Overton was our improv teacher. And so it bothered me for the whole weekend. And so I finally confided. He asked us if we have any issues. I said, yeah, well, that guy, I forgot his name, said I wasn't Black enough. And he was livid when he heard that. I love Rick to this day, but he was livid. He said, don't ever let anyone tell you that you're not who you are.
Right.
So after that, I was like, oh, okay. So there's, so he reinforced in me that I'm okay as I am.
Of course.
But to have, but when you're young and you want to get that agent or whatever, you want to fit in. And so I'm in there trying to be Black. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm Black. I can't help.
Right. They used to tell me, you're too Jewish. I'm like, straighten your hair. Straighten your hair. I'm like, but I am a Jew. Like, what? This is how I talk. Like, leave me alone. Okay, Marina, Karen.
I mean, I am a Karen. Oh no, wait. What? Sorry.
Karen hates her name. Karen
I
is
mean-
always texting me like, I can't believe my name is Karen.
Karen,
She
I
is
know.
Karen, your
You're
name
trending.
is trend. Yeah, your
Yeah.
name has gone viral. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want Karen to go? Go, Karen, you go.
My moment. Because I'm a Karen. Let me go first.
I don't never see a Karen get mad like that.
She gonna have us thrown out of here. Hurry, all right.
I remember when I was like much younger and I was represented by somebody at Barry Katz, and Barry couldn't deal with me because I wasn't like, it was like all guys and there was like maybe a hot girl in his roster. And I remember he said to me, your problem is you're too smart.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
Your
wow.
problem.
Mhm.
Wow.
If it was like, in the same way Lucian said stuff, like
Right.
he was sort of an authority on the matter, it's such a dumb comment, and it's like I feel like it's the perfect comment to remember in the world that we're living in right now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Marina, it's your turn, Marina.
Anyone else?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, with Lucian, it was just so much.
Oh, I know.
I mean, but I had the whole like when he didn't pass me, I wasn't black enough. He was like, I mean, I could almost see it.
Oh, wow.
He said that he goes, because I did this awful joke about having the continent of Africa on the top of my head as an afro, and that's the way my mom had shaped it. And he said, well, I mean, I could kind of believe that you had the continent of Africa on the top of your head, but I mean, I don't really think that I think that's a bit contrived. It was contrived. He was right about that, actually. I didn't disagree with his assessment of the joke. But the thing that really got me was that, he didn't think that I could appeal to the black audience at that time. And then I was like, well, I better go. And then I started
The whitest man in the world.
Yes.
Yeah,
Vampire.
I'm in a closet with a white man telling me I'm not black enough. And then I went and did like Frankie was saying, like I would do like I did Nels. They used to do shows at Nels.
Yeah.
And I had a comic say to me, you need to talk more about that that D. You need to bring all that nasty stuff out. And you need to be louder. You need to scream. And then I saw Tony Woods. And I was like, I don't need to scream.
Right.
I don't need to scream. I can be me.
Right.
And then and obviously I was always watching Wanda, and she
Oh,
was
yeah.
never screaming. And then I saw her live at the Cellar, and she was always just telling great jokes.
Right.
Great material.
Oh God. Well, I gotta admit, I think one of the worst, and just thought was ridiculous, was I had a booker. I sent my tape, and I had a booker tell me that nobody wants to hear about you being a mom.
Oh my God.
Nobody wants to hear your little mom stories. And then he was like, and you're pretty. Why are you even doing that?
Oh, wow.
I
Why are you
can't.
positioning yourself as a mom? I was like, are you? And I remember thinking, like, your mom is SHIT. Like, your mom is garbage. The
You are
woman
pretty,
failed. That
though.
woman failed you.
You are very pretty though.
Thank you.
Frankie, this isn't just we're just talking here.
What do you think moms
For the
look like?
children.
Right.
What do you think
Well-
moms look like? What are we supposed to talk about? I just thought, wow, you're stupid. You're stupid.
For the record, Judy, if I'm gonna hit on somebody, it's gonna be you. I'm trying to get that bag. So
all right, baby.
I know. Look at that background. Hey, Judy.
Oh, I'm at my house.
Hey, Judy. Hey, Judy's background.
Uh-huh.
I make a crazy knish, boo.
Okay. Before we wrap it, Robin, did you say it? Did you say?
I didn't. I mean, I go back and forth while you guys were talking. There were so many incidents. I think in general, I would just say that what used to be weird to me and the stupidest thing is that, like, I would be, a comic would come to town and I'd be the feature act for, you know, a national comedian, Black comedian or whatever. And it was always weird to me, you know, we do like 5 to 8 shows. And then at the end of 8 shows, which I'd done consistently, you know, well, or whatever,
Right.
not headliner, but, you know, I did my thing. And at the end, a lot of times the male comic would always say something to me like, or if I did one single joke that had some, because I don't really do sexual material, whatever,
Right.
nothing wrong with it, but I just don't, I never did. And then I was like, I didn't do it when I was young and single and
Right.
fine, I'm not doing it. But if I did anything that was resembling a sexual connotation in a joke or material or a bit, that's the only bit they would remember.
Wow.
And that's the only bit that they would tell
Right,
me
of
about.
course.
And that's the only bit that they would tell me I should do more of.
Wow.
And that used to drive, like, you know, I'm still not gonna sleep with you, so.
All right, I have
Oh,
2
that's-
more questions. The first one's for Holly. Holly, what teaching these girls? What's first of all, it must be like otherworldly, but then what have
It
you
is.
seen happen to them?
What did I see?
Like how
I
they
saw them
changed?
tap into things that they didn't realize was really funny. Like I never forget this one girl talked about, we were talking about what bothers you, because then you can find the funny stuff, what bothers you. And I'll never forget, she didn't realize that it was funny that she can't stand to hear her brothers chew. And she was like, I just can't stand the mastication. And at first I was like, what? And then I realized, because I'm into, you know, ASMR. I was like, she's talking about chewing. And I was like, she's like, but that's not funny. And I'm like, mastication is not funny.
Right.
I was like, and then she was talking about everything about how her mother's hard of hearing, but the brothers too chew. I was like, you don't know how much comedy you have in your house. So that was the big thing for me, was tapping into their homes, their friends, you know, what it's like walking into school, because that's their life. And helping them find those little golden moments, that was awesome. That was really
Holly,
awesome.
is Stand Up Girls only in New York?
Right now, yeah, they're in New York. They're in New York.
Okay. Now, we really want to raise money because it does empower these girls.
Yes.
So my final thing is, and you can answer either way, what's the one thing you would say to your younger self as a comedian, or what's the one thing, I'd say with that, what's the one thing you would say to your younger self, or you could say what you would want these girls to know. But I think it's more interesting. I'll start. And I would say to myself, I mean, I spent, so much time being anxious and worrying what everyone else thought. I guess I would say this is true. Follow your gut. Anytime I did not, and I was like, oh no, I think that I always, there was never a time when I didn't follow my gut that I wasn't wrong and I didn't regret it. Whatever you're thinking inside, you might not know where it comes from. Trust it. Trust your gut.
Yes.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. I literally said that the other day. I would probably tell myself, my younger comedy person, to relax and just worry about getting funny. I
doing the work. Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried about too many other things as I was, kind of coming along, and I could probably have done better sooner. You know what I mean? If I had just focused on the thing I focus on now, which is just working on myself. And real quick before I go, I just want to say, Joanna, about Black Women in Comedy Festival. One of the most amazing things about it is that, yes, there were 50 Black women, but there was so much diversity within that. It was crazy. We could all go.
I want to go.
Yes.
You got to come.
No, you got to be Black.
I want to come.
No, June, you have to be Black.
I'm going to hit I hit Marina
Shut
up
up,
already.
Marina.
So
I'm gay.
COVID
I'm a
messed
lesbian.
It changed my life, Joanna. It literally did. It changed my whole life. I was a very emotionally sick person beforehand, and Black Women in Comedy Festival, and I know it may sound crazy, but literally was a turning point for my life, my career. So I thank you very much.
You're
Please
welcome.
keep
You're
doing it.
welcome.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
so you're welcome. For me, one of the things I would tell my younger self is to do like Marina did and chase after someone you look up to. I was so shy. I was so shy that I was afraid to approach anyone to get help. That's why I at WCW, which is our dopest open mic in Brooklyn, I mentor a lot of comedians, male, female, and whatever, because I knew what it was like not to have that support of someone older in the business that loved comedy. Because one of the things I noticed when I was coming up, comics at open mics, general statement, lack love. They lack love. So when you see WCW, I pour so much love into the comedy that the comics come out of that feeling so much better about themselves. I don't have any children, so comedy and the younger comics are my children. So I make sure I pour love into them because I know that's a lot of times why we're on stage is because we're looking for validation on stage. We're looking for love. We're looking for something. So if I can give them love as a platform, as a hug, when they leave out of here, the WCW mic, they're empowered. So I know I wish I would have went up to Marina because that voodoo joke you did, I love that voodoo joke. Exactly. So I was, and Leanne Lord, it was so many of you that I was like, I wish I could say, I didn't know how to breach that wall of coming up to someone and asking for help or mentorship. So now that's what I love about Stand Up Girls, because a few times they had the show at the club I manage, which is Brooklyn House of Comedy, just to see the young girls empowered by the workshop and knowing that they're okay at that age. I was like, damn, I wish I had that when I was coming up. So yes, having a mentor, having someone to breathe life into my passion, I think I would be a lot further along in my career, but I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Right.
Well, yeah, Joanna, I just got to say the Black Women in Comedy Festival was a transformative experience for me. Like, my husband was like, whoa, you look a whole new person. It was to see that many Black female comics and then the variety, all the different types of comedy. I was like, this.
I did a tour after that with Police and Mimi and Davina. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we became empowered. We connected on such a level because the vision that I had for the festival was that I needed my sisters to know that there is unity, community, support, love, that, you know, we needed that foundation to go out and conquer the world because it's heavy out there, especially now more so than ever. So this Stand Up Girls is doing a great job of instilling confidence, value, self-worth, all of those things to make the next generation of comedians or just self-empowered women feel value in this society.
Okay.
Definitely.
What
I was going to say, what I would tell my younger self is that I started in stand-up when I was 26 and I did it for a few years and I dropped out. I would have told myself to hang in there. I dropped out for over a decade. Wow. And because I didn't see myself, I switched into sketch comedy, which proved well for me to come back to stand up. But I like looking at my younger self, I would say, hang in there and find your people. And that's what I would tell somebody who's 26 now. That's what I would say.
I would say, well, for one thing, Joanna, I just want to say you look adorable on Zoom.
Thank you.
I think you need a Karen at the Black Women in Comedy.
Okay. No, I am going. No,
there are Black Karens.
We'll take Karen. We'll take Karen.
Karen thing. So,
Marina.
Younger comedic self. I think when I first started, because I did feel that woman pressure, I was so interested in crafting the perfect joke that I separated my emotional reaction to my material. And I felt like it wasn't until I had children, I had a completely new persona once I had children, because I couldn't separate what was going on in my emotional life from my comedy. So use your emotional life is the lesson.
Marina?
God, my younger self, I think the best lesson is to not look around. As a young comic, you're always, and to know it's a long haul.
Yep.
The moment that you start comedy, you think you're going to become, I did think I was going to be, I had one great set and I was like, I'm going to be a star.
Right.
And not true. I mean, it could happen. It could.
Right.
But here's the thing. Don't get disappointed if it doesn't. It's a long haul.
And also, Marina, on that note, you got to be prepared when you get the opportunity.
Yes.
Because if you're not prepared, if you haven't done the work, you're not getting any more opportunities.
Yes.
So do the work. Don't look around, because here's the thing. It'll get frustrating at some point and you'll start looking at what other people are doing.
Yes.
And that's when you fail. You really got to just
Yeah.
focus in on what you're doing, not what someone else is doing, because they're not you.
It's
This is
irrelevant.
the best part of comedy, is it becomes the essential who you are.
Yes.
And that is the best advice. That's why comedy
the
is so great
greatest
for a
advice.
young girl to do, because you start to discover who you are, and it's totally different from anyone else. So when we're all on stage as women, guess what? We all have different, we're all unique. So that's why you
Yes.
can do an all woman show. It's not
Yes.
the same woman. We're all
Yes.
different.
Yes.
So yeah.
Robin?
Okay, I would say like I feel a little unique because I started performing at like 3 years old. And, it's weird. And I've never done anything
diaper on?
else. I've never done anything else.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so I started as a kid. I did comedy in middle school. I went to the school at like the Fame High School.
I thought she was
got a
joking.
Bachelor's of Fine Arts. So I've never done anything else. So what I would tell myself, because I was so much into really, really grateful, honestly, from the beginning, grateful and so happy that I had this talent. I knew it was a talent. And I concentrated so much on the talent. I mean, I have a degree in theater and the whole nine. I would tell myself, I wish that I had concentrated more on the business.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really
I know.
I hate that part of
really,
it,
and
but it
because I
is.
started so young, I really could have the creativity and knowing who I was and that was kind of there, not from the beginning, of course, but by the time I get to Hollywood, it was there. So I wish that I hadn't, pushed myself. I wish I pushed myself more business-wise as much as I did to just being better creatively. So
Can I say
Well,
one quick
this-
thing before we go? Can I say one just half a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Just really quick. When I had mentioned earlier, I've been declining opportunities that are all men, and 100% of the time they've added women to the show. I just want to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
My last thing, I just want to say this was so great, and I love all of you guys, and I really miss not being able to hug you. I mean, I miss not hugging. I miss hugging you. Whatever I miss.
Did I let you hug me?
Shut up, Marina. Anyway, the one thing someone said to me when I first started was Adrienne Tolsch. She was the MC at Catch a Rising Star, and she said to me, "Don't ever let anyone tell you what you can and cannot say on stage. You earned that time, and do it and be you, and that's it." And that was it. So come in. All right, my dinner guests are here. All right.
All right. My gosh, that was the most inspiring panel. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
for our classes. Look, I just want to also thank everybody else
Shoes
who
off.
participated. But behind the scenes folks, the folks from Stand Up Girls, our board members are here. Nancy Tepper, Sumi Vatsa, Sarah Safinelli, they're coming up. Bryn Bowen, Linnea Michaels. I also want to thank John Ornoy, the producer of All Joking Aside, for finding us on the internet and getting us this tie-in with the movie. Also, thank you to Diana Bassett for pro bono public relations services. Got Holly Harper and Black Enterprise today. Thank you.
Yeah. Read it.
Congratulations,
Awesome
Holly.
article.
Thank
Awesome
you.
article.
So great. Beautiful picture too.
And I want to thank everybody watching for all your generous donations that you've already made and what's coming in as we speak. We are now more confident than ever that we can continue our programming and maybe expand it Maybe LA's in the cards now. We're really excited. Thank you guys so much.
DC.
We're looking at you, Frankie.
Yeah, DC's great.
Yes.
Seriously, I want my
All
daughter
right,
to do your program so badly.
See, that's easier. We can do that.
Yeah.
Contributions, everybody. Make a contribution,
Yes.
everybody. Make
Yes.
contributions, everybody.
It's for the future. Future. Comedy changes the world.
Yes, it does.
Sure does. All right. Thank you, everyone.
And thank you all. You were
All right.
all amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. So long.
Let's do this again, though.
Bye.
Bye.